Welcome y'all back to another Kerbal Space Program video. I'm going to be launching a Duna spaceship, my actual first manned Duna mission. It's just going to be a flyby. But the thing that's going to be special about it is that we're going to build it in orbit, like, an actual, how to actually build a spaceship to Mars in real life. And yeah, remember to like and subscribe. I only have like 14 subscribers, so I'm going to do that. And yeah, anyway, this rocket that I'm going to be using, it's a little trick up its sleeve, this launch vehicle. We're going to skip up this stage separation very soon. You'll see we're actually going to reuse the lower stage. So yeah, we're going to turn it retrograde. And yeah. It's not going to do a propulsive landing, it's going to do a propulsive entry. We're just going to slow down and make it a lot easier. So you can see, I think, the bottom corner, you can see the lower stage landing. I'm just going to speed it up. The upper stage uses 2 skipper engines instead of, like, any normal engine, just because it's very powerful, and the Rhino engine doesn't work since the rocket is too thin. You can also see on the other side, we're about to land the lower stage booster. Deployed the drogue parachutes, and the main ones are now deployed. And then we just kind of softly touch down to the water. Oh yeah, and by the way, we're going to do our orbital. Search and burn now. This is the first part, the crew module, the Jeb and Bob. So we're doing our search and burn. That's it. Now I think we're going to separate and deorbit the lower stage. Or upper stage, whatever. This ride was a bit hard to fly for whatever reason. I really don't know. It was just harder. It's also hard to get out the thing. I think the fuel tank, the monopropellant tanks got snagged. And also I'm sitting on a yoga ball and it's quite nice. Yeah, so you can see solar panels, a couple of module is the command pod, and a nice solar panel. We're going to deorbit the lower stage and just coast down and hopefully crash it. Make sure that it's going to reduce debris. Sadly, I had a plan to like push it super far and like make sure that it absolutely got destroyed, but it actually survived re-entry, which wasn't good. I was hoping I could like hit the rocket's prograde so I can get like up to like 2,500 meters a second and then obliterate it, but it got obliterated upon landing anyway. See, pieces of some beams got launched really far away. So now on to the second launch. I didn't really feel like we're using the lower stage for this one, so I'm just gonna launch it up and fly it. Also does I like the nice silver fairing on this rocket. I like this rocket overall. Very powerful rocket, it's very nice. This is the engine. It's actually powered by ion engines. Did a flip there, a totally intentional flip that was not me losing control of the rocket, then subsequently regaining it after a few seconds. Yeah, as you can see all those flames going on, and we're going to actually expend the lower stage instead of recovering it. And yeah, so we expended the lower stage, and the upper stage just keeps going. I'm not sure if we're gonna hit the engines a little bit, gain a little bit of speed. I'm gonna keep doing little puffs of the engine since I went on a very flat gravity turn. I decided I like flatter gravity turns. Just makes things, I don't know, I just like doing it. It makes the orbital insertion very small. I can see only 172 meters a second, 174, something like that. I can't really see because I'm watching it through a preview window. Yeah, you can see the engine. I tried something new, and I tried adding struts and connecting it to the fairing instead of like some support structure to make it easier, but it looks super weird now. So yeah, because they're all sticking out. And we do the orbital insertion burn. I like this dual skipper engine upper stage thing. I like using multiple engines for like an upper stage. It's quite nice. Normally you'll just use like a single engine. It looks fine, but I like adding upper stages for the aesthetics. And then I realized I launched at a bad time and I had to time warp in order to catch up, which means that it took a while to get there, and then I did a bunch of maneuvers and stuff, I think I'm changing the alignment. No, it's just the alignment. And I changed the alignment and did some prograde and retrograde maneuvers all in the same thing. Or maybe I didn't, I can't tell, it's going too fast. I just decided, there's a lot to get through, and I wanted to compress it down into like 15 minutes, so, do a bunch of time warping, all that. Yeah, I think got pretty close. It's sped up 10 times. It's really crazy to look at. Yeah. Time warping through. Yes, hit the retrograde a little bit, hit the prograde a little bit, use the RCS for fine maneuvers, time warp up to our target. See, we're slowing down, slowing down. I think it's actually below me and then I found it. See, it's getting closer and closer and closer and closer. And then flying up. It's a few kilometers away. Flies below us, hit retrograde, prograde, or retrograde relative to the target, which aligns the orbits, makes it so you can get there. And he started flying past it a little bit, hit retrograde relative to the target again. And decided to use the RCS on the main spaceship. And the things. Yeah, I realized I hadn't attached RCS to this. And we're actually, yeah, so this is ion powered. I think there's like 24 on the outer ring of ion engines, like 15 on the inside. And so, yeah, there's a bunch of engines, and they're electric powered, xenon powered. I don't know why I'm saying this, you probably already know that. Yeah, but ion engines are really annoying because they use a ton of electricity, and I always underestimate the amount of electricity that they use, and then I end up having like really bad burns. It's just not fun. They're not fun to use. Although they're incredibly efficient, not inefficient. They're like 3,200 ISP or something ridiculous. They're useful for a lot of things. And yeah, now we're going to deorbit the stage. And just kind of crash and watch it explode. Yay. Okay. So now I'm going to switch up to the next area. Yeah. So now do a bunch of maneuver nodes. It's hard to tell, I know. If you want to inspect my maneuver nodes, you can slow down the video to like half speed or 25% speed. Probably this is really fast. You can probably tell. I'm just kind of doing, first I'm not going to actually do a normal, first I was planning to use a MUN gravity assist, but I decided just to be easier just to launch out eventually. Then I did a little alignment just to make it easier, you know. Now we're actually going to do the burn. And then I realized I don't have enough electric charge just to do one continuous burn. That's what's really annoying about ion engines, is that it's hard to tell with the electric charge. So I had to do like 3 or 4, I think it's 3 burns, I don't remember. I had to do multiple burns at periapsis. I guess that's good because then I got slightly more efficient, because if you don't know, burns are more efficient at periapsis. I also dipped into the atmosphere, which isn't good for obvious reasons. And I raised the orbit slightly just to make it a lot easier. Maybe I did some alignment, or maybe, I don't know. I think, yeah, I don't know, I'm just doing this. Yeah. So a little puff to raise the apoapsis, then I did another one. Make sure not to get a MUN counter, because that's not what I want to do. Or actually, I might have wanted to try doing a MUN counter, but then it just never worked out. So it's just 200 meters a second, delta V, and then I changed some stuff. I forgot to recharge my battery, so I went through another orbit in order to recharge them, and now I'm going to do another burn, 200 meters a second, basic stuff. You can start now, or sometime. Come on, I don't know. Yeah, there you go. So start the burn. Ion engine, super slow, takes forever. I hate it. Yeah, I think I also had even with time warp, these things take forever. It's really annoying. Like you can time warp through a burn with the nerve engines, and it's really fine. Even with ion engines, you can time warp for higher TWR ion engine crafts, but even with low TWR, I think this had a 0.16 TWR. It was really annoying. It's not fun. And time warp up. Again, consider using a MUN or gravity assist, but I just never did do that. Just because also another thing with using the MUN gravity assists, it shows your escape trajectory, doesn't show what your orbit is after you do the escape trajectory. It's really annoying. But yeah, I'm gonna do the next burn, or it might have been 4 burns. It might have been a bunch of burns. I don't remember what was happening. Or it might have been less burns with this one. Might have been able to get more delta V out of this burn because I was, xenon gas. It's running out, and I get, the TWR goes up as you run out of fuel, which might have made me do a longer burn. I'm not sure. I'm not checking. Okay, no, I only did like 300 meters a second. But yeah, we're gonna time warp up again, and then I think the next burn will be the one where you finally reach escape velocity and exit Kerbin system. Recharging the electric batteries, using the solar panels, basic stuff, Do the next one at a high altitude to make sure I didn't dip into the atmosphere like I did with the first burn. Well, is it really burns if it's electric charge? Is it a burn? What would you call it? Burn. Yeah, almost done with that, and I think now we've reached escape velocity. Yeah, I didn't launch the Duna transfer window because I didn't really feel like time warping. I was just like, I was just lazy. So I didn't launch the Duna window, and then I started messing around with the maneuver nodes. The problem with the not launching at a Duna transfer window is that it's harder to get an encounter. You have to actually get into a sun orbit, and then you have to get an encounter. It's possible, but it takes a lot longer, and it takes like the mission was like instead of a month, it was like 2 years to get there. So it's not very nice. Would have been much better for my Kerbals if I just launched at a transfer window, but didn't happen. Oh yeah, I think I'm doing. Oh yeah, this is the really annoying one, the really annoying burn where I realized I was running out of electricity. Like mid-burn, so I throttled the engines down super low so that I didn't run out of electricity. And it took even with time warp, it took it took 10 minutes to do, or no, probably more like 5 minutes. It just took forever. It was really annoying. So I think I sped this up 20 times, something a lot faster. And now we've almost got the orbit good, and we're gonna do slight adjustments. Just get it real close to Duna. There you go. See it? I decided to do an Ike flyby because that would just make things nice. Doing slight adjustments. I think using the RCS controls. It's kind of funny because you probably do slight adjustments using just the normal ones. But I like using the RCS since I don't have to put prograde or retrograde and all that. Now we're just coming in for our encounter. See it right there. Now I think we're just going to fly by Ike, and then Duna, and we're going to do a bunch of science experiments. It's flying through, and I decided to lower my periapsis into Duna's atmosphere, the upper atmosphere. I would do a quick fly through the upper atmosphere, and then use that for just more science points. I only need science points since I'm in Sandbox. But I don't care, I'm just collecting science points just for the fun of it. It's really weird, I don't need science points, I'm in Sandbox. Yeah. So we're going to transmit it using the gigantic antenna. We're always going to have enough electricity for that, considering the fact that we have, just that much electricity for the engines. So we're always going to have excess electricity, unless we're using the engines, of course. So we're doing a gravity scan. I think we have a thermometer, but the thermometer doesn't really work in space. I thought it might be different. So you see, measuring the temperature of space appears to be quite impossible, as there is no matter around to be either hot or cold, except the spacecraft and the thermometer itself. This is probably going to give the R&D guys something to think about for a while. So we transmit the data, and yeah, realize that doesn't really mean anything. So instead we're going to do, I tried doing it, in space near Duna, for whatever reason that gives a different answer. It's kind of weird like that. Then I decided we're dipping into the atmosphere. You can see we're lowering by a few hundred, 100 meters a second. I'm going to fly through the atmosphere. Now we're in the atmosphere. We record temperature scan from the upper atmosphere. And we're going to keep dipping. I was worried that, maybe we wouldn't reach escape velocity. And we're going to do a crew report and an EVA report now. We're going to have to actually keep the experiments because we can't transmit them because we're behind Duna, so the communitron doesn't work. It's blocked by Duna. Yeah. So yeah, that's it, I think. Now we're just going to coast out of Duna, and also, As we coast away from Duna, please remember to like and subscribe, and goodbye.